And I got another question. One more question. Same day, literally 5 seconds after I made that last video. Why doesn't all the air get sucked out into space from Earth? I'm not a flat earther. I don't believe that we're riding the back of a turtle. I don't believe in flat Earth. I don't believe in any of that. But, I'll hear arguments about it. It's a fun concept to explore. Imagination is great. Asking questions is great. But legitimately, I once had somebody explain to me how a vacuum works. Vacuum, essentially, inside of a light bulb, we'll take a light bulb as the example here. Everything inside that light bulb gets sucked in every single direction. Any particle inside that light bulb is going to be sucked in every direction all at once. That's why whenever you crack a light bulb, it immediately explodes in a forceful way, because everything has been trying to push in all directions at all times inside that light bulb. And the moment that there's a break in the excluded system of the internal light bulb, and the moment that excluded internal system is broken, it has an immediate release. So why doesn't Earth do that with all the air? Because they say space is a vacuum. They say Earth is a closed system. I've heard explanations about how it has to do with Earth's magnetic field and how that field protects us from solar radiation and cosmic rays, right? Yeah, so forgive the fingers. They're arbitrary. I'm just raising them randomly. But there's no dome that protects the Earth. There's nothing actually holding in all of our air. And if space is a vacuum, it is sucking on the Earth. It is sucking the Earth at all times. So why doesn't all the air leak out? Why did Mel Brooks made that movie Spaceballs? And the planet Vespa, their atmosphere was protected by a giant dome, a closable dome with a comically hilarious little fucking garage door window that moves in and out of place so that ships and stuff can get out of there. And that explained why all the air stayed on that planet. But Earth doesn't have a physical dome. We just have magnetic fields. And correct me if I'm wrong. Like, please, honestly, legitimately correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying that to be facetious. I'm saying that to ask questions and know better knowledge. Why does the immense, immeasurable vacuum of space, how does the pressure of a vacuum that large, because assumedly the larger the volume of the vacuum, the greater the force of the suction. I would assume that those two conflicting forces correlate with one another. So if space is the biggest vacuum, arguably it should have the largest amount of suction of anything imaginable. And Earth is very tiny in comparison to space. So why is not everything on the, people have asked, why doesn't everything spin off of the Earth? And they explain it with gravity. And people have asked tons of similar questions, but just the air, particles of air, very loose. I can blow them. I can blow dust my dashboard here. I don't have very big lungs. Space is much bigger than my lungs. Why is it not sucking all the air off of Earth? Why is that? And like I said in my previous video, please explain to me the answer to this in very exhaustive terms. I don't want a single sentence or a paragraph or even like 4 or 5 paragraphs. I want somebody to make a video like I'm making right now to ask a singular question. And now almost 6-minute video to ask a singular question. I would love to get a 10-minute video in response to why doesn't all the air of Earth's non-closed system, it's not a closed system, it's a very open system, we can fire rockets to the moon, so there's nothing blocking us from getting to space, supposedly, why doesn't all the air get sucked off of the tiny spinning rock? Why doesn't all the air get sucked off the tiny spinning rock that we've named Earth? I would love to know that. Please, anybody with a reasonable, sound, well thought out answer that doesn't treat me like an idiot for asking, please do explain it to me in non-simple terms. Please explain it to me in very thoughtful, wordy, exhaustive terms. I would love to know an answer for that one as well.